Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have been missing Disney, and so I thought I would embrace a topic that seems to have been popular with many of you, and let's revisit one of the hotels that is available to stay at Disneyland Paris. Today we are going to be talking about the Art of Marvel Hotel. Let's get started. My most recent and so far first stay to the Art of Marvel Hotel at Disneyland Paris was in December, right before Christmas, and it was such an amazing experience. It was so much fun and I absolutely loved every moment of it. You probably already know I am a big old Marvel fan, specifically the Civil War Endgame era, but I absolutely love it and I was so excited to stay at this hotel, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint for a single second. I absolutely loved this hotel. It is by far my favourite so far. The only one I haven't stayed at yet is the Disneyland Paris Pink Hotel and the Davy Crockett Ranch. So I feel like I've got a good comparison at the moment. So it does beat out Newport Bay and it does beat out Sequoia in my opinion. But as I say, I am a massive Marvel fan, so that goes a long way as well. Let's talk about the hotel then. For starters, it is a 4-star hotel. It's one of two that are located at Disneyland Paris, the other one being Newport Bay, and they're located at opposite ends of the lovely lake that you can walk around to get from the hotel to the park. The hotel itself is about 1,000 steps away from the entrance of the Disneyland Paris park, which is what we refer to as the Magic Kingdom park in my family. And you walk straight past the Disney Studios park on the way to get there, of course, as well. One of the nice things about this hotel in particular is how much artwork there is. There is lots to look at in the hotel, and you could spend quite a lot of time there quite happily if you wanted a bit of a downtime day or a bit of a chill out. So every single floor in the hotel has artwork. They have over 350 pieces, which are, I think from memory, all on the wall. I don't remember seeing any sculptures or anything, but they really vary. Obviously you've got a massive amount of comic book style art, but you've got things like big poster art to comic book pages, like front pages, kind of portrait type style, so lots and lots of different things. There's some quite very bold, what's the guy who did the soup? Him. There's some very kind of stylistic types of art in there as well, and from a range of different artists. And this is one of the key features that differentiates this hotel for me from other hotels at Disneyland Paris, because there's just so much to look at. And what's cool is they've actually themed every single floor. So if you go up in the lift, and this is something that I don't think I actually did before I left, but I would still like to do in a future visit, every lift stop on a different floor has different artwork and a different theme. So I believe we stayed on floor 8, and when the lift doors opened there was this brilliant Captain Marvel piece of artwork directly opposite. We actually stayed in a Black Widow hotel room, and I mean the hotel has been fairly recently done up and renovated, and it shows. It's very clean, it's very modern, it's very, very sophisticated in its vibe, and it does a great job of actually emulating that kind of Manhattan, New York theme. Less noisy, I will say, but it's really lovely. I really enjoyed the fact that like the little soaps that you could get have the A for Avengers carved out onto them. The main toiletries are provided in big pumps, so they just refill it, which is cool. The actual room has an ensuite which has the toilet and the bath and the sink in the same space. So it's a little bit less practical than Sequoia Lodge, which currently has the sink outside of the main toiletry bit, and I seem to remember Newport Bay was like that as well. So if you're taking a family there, it's slightly less practical in that some people can't be doing their teeth while you're on the loo kind of thing, but it is really nice, very clean, and bright white kind of colours. And as I say, the hotel room we were in was Black Widow themed, and it's been really well done. I think a lot of what Disney does well is theming, and definitely in this room what was really cool is the fact that you kind of think, oh, it's a Black Widow room, and then as you look around you see more and more details. So things like the pattern design on the cushions is fairly evident from the start, but then you've got things like the lamp shapes, spaces between the beds. There's lots of subtle details that all kind of build. I can't remember if there was a fridge. I will add a note if I remember. In the room we stayed in, there was a television. It took us a while to find because it's quite it's kind of hidden behind the bit opposite the beds. It's kind of integrated in, which is nice because it means it's not a main feature. There's kind of a mirror effect, but the TV is actually also there. And it was a nice sized room. The beds were super comfortable, really, really comfy to just snuggle up into at the end of a very cold Parisian Christmas type day, winter day, and just chill out in. So in the hotel there are 2 restaurants, and then there are 2 additional places that you can eat at. So the main 2 actual restaurants are the Manhattan restaurant and the downtown restaurant. You can eat at either for breakfast in the mornings, and the breakfast is largely very similar across all of the hotels at Disneyland Paris. You do notice a few differences. So for example, I know that the Manhattan restaurant, and presumably downtown as well, but we didn't eat in that room. We only ate in the Manhattan. Just coincidence, I think, perhaps based on room location. But we actually had crepes as well as pancakes at breakfast. And instead of having kind of whole big tomatoes cooked, they were cherry tomatoes on a vine. So they were very smart, very nice, and very pleasant. It was really, really nice. When it comes to dinner, that hotel restaurant, the Manhattan, does a set meal, which is about €55 at the moment. That's for a set drink, starter, main and dessert, and you can get it as part of the package deal for dining, which is what we tend to do. We tend to go half board, so we get breakfast and a meal, which we have either at lunch or dinner. I must say, the starter of the burrata salad was one of the best things I've eaten in my entire life. I loved that. It was so fresh, so delicious, and it came with this, I think it was a Turkish style bread, which was not what I was expecting. I was expecting like a pita bread, something fairly solid. This was like more like almost a poppadom in terms of its thickness, but it was even lighter and flakier and crispier, and it was just one of the most delicious things I've tried at Disneyland Paris. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think it speaks a lot that I can't actually remember as I'm recording this what I had for my main. I remember that we all were swapping different things around. So I remember my sister had some deep fried polenta with whatever she had. I think what I had was fish. I think I was trying to go a bit on the lighter side, and I honestly can't either remember what my dessert was. So I'm going to try and find the photos and add them because that will prompt my memory. I do remember the fried polenta. That was quite delicious and very Moorish, but the burrata salad was the star of that show for me. I think I had a peach alcoholic drink. Pear. I think I had a pear alcoholic drink, and the main thing I remember about that was how beautiful the shape of the glass was. Bearing in mind I only went in June for the meal, I feel like I should remember more details of that. But I mean, it's a lovely setting. I've probably mentioned before, but the chandelier in that restaurant is one of my very favourite things to see. You can easily see it walking past the hotel on the way to the park as well. You just look at the very first part of the building that you walk past when you reach the Art of Marvel Hotel. That is it as you cross the bridge over the canal. So that's the Manhattan restaurant. We didn't eat in the downtown restaurant when we were there at Christmas. That was a buffet style restaurant, so you have the choice, which is quite nice. And then the other 2 things that they have, and one of them again I've been to, the other I haven't, they have a Doctor Strange themed lounge, which is kind of like a cool bar vibe, some nice comfy chairs, and that, as I say, is a lounge. I think they do food and some nibbles. The other one that we went to was the Skyline bar, which I have been to, and we actually went to the Skyline bar before we stayed at the Art of Marvel Hotel for Christmas. So we did the Skyline Hotel, I think was September last year, 2023. I'm losing track of my years. Then we stayed at Christmas 2023, and then we had a meal in the Manhattan restaurant June 2024. There you go, that's the timeline. At the Skyline Bar, they do some brilliant Thanos / Infinity Stone themed cocktails, which are brilliant. They are very alcoholic. I don't drink a lot, so I was quite buzzy after them. I think I had the Purple Power one. Again, I'll have a look and find photos of it, and I remember thinking it was nice. It was very strong for someone who doesn't really drink. My dad, I think, had the Yellow Power, or he either had the yellow or the blue. Again, I'll try and find the photos, but they're really cool because they are themed to the film or the stones, which is just a really nice touch. The other thing they have is it's a really lovely setting. It's very nicely done. Again, it's very sophisticated theme. It's kind of bubbly lamps and stuff like that. It's just a cool vibe. They do some food. I can tell you that the little lobster bruschetta, which was only little and like 20 euros, but it was delicious. That went really nicely with my Purple Power martini. So I did have that. And then they actually project onto the wall behind the bar staff. So you might see the Quinjet, you might see Spider-Man, you might see Iron Man, you might see any number of other characters appear on that as well as you're sitting there spending a little time chilling. So that's nice. That's definitely more of an adult area. The Bleecker Street Lounge, I think, is open to anyone, and obviously the restaurants are family friendly as well. When you walk into the hotel from the parks, on your left is the concierge, and they actually offer a treasure hunt. You can actually go to the concierge and ask for the treasure hunt, and this is either a half-hour or hour-long tour around the hotel. You answer clues, you find clues as you go. It takes you around the tour. You get to see some more of that amazing artwork as you go. You get to discover things like the pool, which is beautiful and very kind of subway themed. It's quite a small pool, but there is also an outside area. It's very smart looking, and it's actually the one place where I like the use of the like railway tiles, because I don't like them. I think they're a little, I'm conscious people watching this may have them, and I'm really sorry if so, but I personally, they're not to my taste unless they're in a railway station, or as it turns out, in the Art of Marvel hotel pool, where they look fabulous. So it's a really nice pool. I didn't go in it when I was there at Christmas. I wish I had, and if I was to stay there again, I definitely would. But back to the treasure hunt. So you actually get, it's called the Discovery Quest. You get one of these pieces of paper. It's in French and English, and it actually talks you through where to start. You scan the QR code, and then you work your way through this very cool app that comes up with all these clues. It walks you through like where you're going to go, all the different areas in the hotel, and you've also got a little map. So they actually separate it into the Midtown area, the Brownstone area, and the Gramercy Park area. Now that bit is cool because in the Gramercy Park area you have the pool, which is the Metro Pool and Health Club. You also have the Hero Training Centre that you go kind of via on that way, and there's also some outside things. So there were, I think it was a basketball pitch, definitely some areas that kind of cater to children. When we were there, when we did the treasure hunt, it was evening, so those areas were not active in that way, but definitely a fun vibe and something that you might want to check out. As I say, this hotel's got loads if you actually have some downtime, and I seem to remember we walked past a children's club as well on the route. Let me see if it says anything here. Oh, the Marvel Design Studio. I think that was for children, so you could actually go and like do some drawing and stuff like that, which was really cool. So the Discovery Quest was really fun, a nice way to discover the hotel. And at the end, you then go to the shop and ask for your treasure, which was like this. It's a little cardboard money box, and it had this one has actually been eaten, but it had a couple of chocolate coins in there. Now, honestly, I think it might be a while since anyone had done the treasure hunt because they were a little bit stale, but it was just fun. It was a great activity to do. Like I say, half an hour or an hour. You've got a bit of quiet time. You're not really sure what to do. That's a brilliant thing to do. It's lots of fun. It takes you all around the hotel. You get to see loads. So I highly recommend that. As I say, we went at Christmas, so the other thing was it was just such a beautifully decorated hotel. They had definitely, they theme the hotels at Christmas according to the hotel, and the same at Halloween. So the Newport Bay Hotel, for example, had very much kind of nautical themed ornaments on the tree in the concierge and reception area, whereas the Art of Marvel was very much wreaths along the top of the, well, not along the top of the ceiling because it's very high ceilings when you walk in, but kind of at picture rail level, kind of quite high up. Very elegant, very classic, kind of the red gold effect. I suppose also Iron Man kind of colours, and it just looked so beautiful. It was so well done. I literally had the best time there at Christmas, and I so enjoyed it. It was wonderful. They also had a massive tree out the front which overlooked the lake, and they also had this huge Groot bauble, which you could buy actually a limited edition of in the shop. I didn't, because I think it was about €100, although I was very tempted, because the other thing that they did was some Christmas boxes. Now these were exclusive to either Newport Bay or the Art of Marvel Hotel. Unfortunately, I did not order mine before we went, and I feel very foolish because I missed out. And I was absolutely gutted because I really wanted to do like a live unboxing for you from the hotel room. And I just couldn't because they'd sold out. They did offer to try and get hold of a Newport Bay one for me, but there were some quite big differences. The Art of Marvel one was a glass ornament that was kind of Iron Man themed, whereas the one at Newport Bay was much more of a traditional round ornament, kind of made of glass, but not looking like a piece of clear glass that was carved. So it just had a lot less appeal for me, and I didn't go with it because I think they were about €250. And that was ridiculously expensive, which is also why I didn't order it before I went. But as I say, it meant that I missed out, which was a shame. So another time I might go for that. I did consider, as I say, the little ornament as an alternative and kind of creating my own box, but I didn't. What I did come back with was the Art of Marvel Hotel, the hat for my husband, and there was another part of it, the stocking, which if you want to see those, I will link the Disneyland Paris haul video so you can have a look at those because they were great. Other things that the hotel has, so you've got the shop there, which you can go to even if you're not a resident. They obviously have a lot of Marvel themed items. I think almost exclusively Marvel themed items actually. You can buy different photo frames for your character experience pictures. So the one that you can buy in the hotel, the one that you can buy in the park is this one, the black and silver. It certainly was at that point. The one you can buy in the hotel is this one, so it's white and black and has the characters on. I've actually got my photos the wrong way round in these two because this actually was at the Avengers campus, and this is a photo from in the hotel when I met Captain Marvel. Which brings us on nicely to character meets, because as you may or may not know, in each of the hotels you can actually meet characters, and they tend to be themed to the hotel you're staying at. Now, I talk about this in one of my other videos in much more detail, which I'll link as well for you. But actually, one of the key things is, if you want to meet the characters in the hotel, you have to book it through the app. You can try turning up on the day, but it's unlikely that there will be spaces. They have a really cool area which is themed to the different films and has props that are in the theme of different of the Marvel characters. So for example, you have Thor's hammer, you have like a quantum whizzy tunnel thing for Ant-Man, you have a room where you can be Spider-Man and be upside down in the space. There are others as well, and I loved doing these. I Disney bounded according to those spaces and went and took photos, which was great fun. The other thing with the characters is that they rotate. They will have two characters who you might see on the day you go to see them in the morning only in that hotel. So they don't do evening character meets. Santa Fe does an evening meet, but in the Art of Marvel Hotel it is in the morning, and it's two characters who rotate. You do not know who you are going to see, and they will not tell you. Even if you tell them, I've seen 6 characters, can you please tell me who it is? They won't tell you. So if you want to do a character meet, you have to go kind of sign in, look, having booked a slot, look around the corner, see if it's someone you've met, and then decide if you want to meet them again or not. It's just the way they do it. It is frustrating, but it's, what can you do? So that's how they do the character meets. While we were there, there was Quill, Captain Marvel, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson. Who else did we see there? We saw Captain Marvel twice. We saw Quill twice on different days. And some of that was when we were going and doing the rounds of the different prop areas that you could take photos with, because you can go into that bit without having booked a slot to see a character. The other thing is you can do that at night, so it's quieter then, which is cool. But very, very nice. Really good fun to go and do it. And I've got to say, the Spider-Man room, it's a mind-blowing, like, it just scrambled my brain so much because everything's upside down. That's how you do it. So I really, really struggled with getting my bearings and figuring out what on earth I was trying to do because everything's upside down. It just scrambled my brain. That is the best way to describe it. Also around that area you do have some conference space, so they actually kind of have conference areas that if you're a business you could actually go into or rent out, which looked very smart. Again, as I say, it's a recently renovated hotel and it really does show it's really, really smart, really, really nice. Basically, my review of the Art of Marvel Hotel, there is loads to see there. There's lots that you can do or go and look at. It's a very well thought out hotel, I would say. It's very close to security when you actually need to go through to the Disney Village and then get to the parks. So, I mean, I don't really think you would get a bus from that hotel. I don't even know if they put one on because, like I say, it's 1,000 steps through Disney Village and you're there. So it's really, really easy. But there's just so much to see there. It's a wonderful hotel. It is my favourite. I am looking forward to seeing how the Disneyland Paris Pink Hotel compares because that's where I'm staying at Christmas this year. I'm slightly nervous because we had such a great experience at Art of Marvel that I don't know if it can be topped. I know the pink one is a 5-star, but I don't know. We had some experiences there in June when we went for a meal there that were not great. I'll talk about that more in a separate video at some point in the future, but it does make me nervous for if they're going to be as good. And they didn't know at that point whether they were going to have Christmas decorations. I'm really hoping so. Like, what is Christmas without Christmas decorations? Come on, Disneyland Paris Hotel. You can do it. Get some bloody tinsel up. So there you go. That is my assessment. Art of Marvel Hotel, absolutely cracking. Absolutely loved every second of it there. I am a big Marvel fan. That definitely helped. There are things like there was a giant cutout with the Avengers. It was almost like a card kind of. It was made of cardboard, but it was also something you could take a photo of and make into a card. For example, you can go and pose with all the different characters in like this photo frame, massive photo frame style thing with Hulk and everyone on. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful. If you have any questions or you want to talk to me about the hotel, let me know. Just pop them in the comments or find me on Instagram. I always forget to talk about my Instagram page. I am on it, and it's at Aristocat with a K 23 if you want to find me. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, take care and bye for now.